Hello, this is the Citizen Participation Section B lecture. Prioritized standard is Government Civics 31. Objectively, we're going to compare and contrast civic duties and civic responsibilities. To ensure the continued success of our society, guarantee the democratic principles written into the U.S. Constitution are upheld, and to show their allegiance to the country, citizens are required to complete several civic duties and fulfill several civic responsibilities. Now, civic duties are tasks that citizens are required by law to fulfill for national, state, or local governments or face fines or imprisonment. As where civic responsibilities are things citizens are encouraged yet not required to do to help support their community and their government. Citizens have several civic duties that they must complete when they are called upon. For instance, citizens have a duty to pay their taxes. Now, the government cannot actually function at any level without taxes, despite the immense popularity of people paying taxes. Failure to pay your taxes, as in your federal income taxes, by April the 15th of each year, as for instance, is actually punishable by fines and or imprisonment. Failure to pay your state and local taxes are going to have similar consequences also. Citizens also have the duty to serve in court when called upon, either through jury duty when receiving a summons, and by summons, that's a legal document notifying a person to appear in court to potentially serve on a jury, or as a witness when receiving what's called a subpoena, which is a legal document notifying a person to appear in court as a witness for a case. Now, serving as a juror ensures that those accused of crimes have a jury of their peers to decide cases. Serving as a witness guarantees those accused of crimes to either face witnesses against them in court or have witnesses in their own defense, which are both actually constitutionally protected rights. Now, employers must allow workers to attend court if summoned or subpoenaed, so there's no reason not to go. Failure to report can actually result in imprisonment, what's called contempt of court. So if you are called to go to court, you need to go to court, otherwise there are consequences. Now, citizens also have a duty to defend the country when called upon, as men aged 18 to 25, women must register with the Selective Service System. Now, the Selective Service maintains a database of individuals that could be drafted into military service if that were needed. Now, while military service is currently voluntary, a military draft could actually be enacted through an order of Congress and the President. Now, men failing to register with the Selective Service can face fines up to $250,000, imprisonment for up to 5 years, and are ineligible for student financial aid. Also, citizens have the duty to respect and obey the laws. Even if you don't know something's illegal, you still are held liable if you violate that law. Now, citizens also have several civic responsibilities that they should fulfill when they are called upon. For instance, citizens have a responsibility to be informed of civic issues, as a citizen cannot appropriately voice their opinion if they have no knowledge as to what is going on in the world around them. One should know current events and issues affecting your nation, state, and local government. Also, one should be aware of the political stances of their elected officials, and one should be aware of their rights so that you'll actually know when your rights are being infringed upon. Citizens also have a responsibility to voice their opinion through voting, contacting their elected officials, protesting, and in some very extreme circumstances, practicing civil disobedience. Now, to vote, one must register with their county election commission at least 30 days before the election. You can register in person at the county election commission office, the county clerk's office, the public library, the register of deeds office, when you get your driver's license. Although the easiest way is probably to go to this website that popped up on your screen, www.govotn.com, because you can actually register to vote online. Now, again, you have to do that 30 days before an election, or you just cannot vote in the great state of Tennessee. Now, one can contact elected officials by calling their office, writing letters, or sending emails, which are all very easy processes to do. Phone numbers, other contact information can be found easily online, but once you're online, it's probably just as easy to send them an email. Now, civil disobedience, you probably hear this when you've been in U.S. history and the civil rights movement. This is when a person who objects to a law or a policy breaks that law or policy peacefully and then willingly accepts the legal consequences for that action. Now, this does a couple things. It not only expresses opposition to a policy, but it also accepts the authority of the law. For instance, civil rights era, the sit-in is a very common example of this. Citizens also have a responsibility to respect the rights of others. Public and private property should be respected. Also, citizens should practice tolerance for others. And finally, citizens have a responsibility to contribute to the common good in helping their local communities through things like volunteering and performing public service. Volunteering actually provides organizations that are very short of funds, which are many of them, with free services. While being paid, if we're talking about performing public service, those that perform public service do so for a much lower salary than for many working in the private sector. So both of those can be doing your part also. All right, that concludes Citizen Participation Section B lecture. Your prioritized standard again was Government Civics 31, and objectively now you can compare and contrast civic duties and civic responsibilities.